I'm a Trump supporter, but I'm not one of these mindless Trump supporters that just agrees with everything he does or says without question. There are certain times when I do disagree. And one thing I disagree with him on, which may be surprising because I think this is one thing that a lot of people agree with him on that don't necessarily agree with him on other things. But I'm the opposite. I agree with him on most things, but I don't agree with him on this. And that's that I don't actually see a reason for the Fed to lower interest rates right now. If you just look at the data. Now, we all want lower interest rates. I mean, I'm in real estate. That's my primary source of income is real estate investing. And I have some cash I'm sitting on that I would like to make a purchase. And I also, personally, I would like to change my primary residence, and the interest rate's stopping me from doing that too. Not literally stopping me from doing it, but stopping it from being a smart thing to do, and therefore stopping me from doing it. So, and lower interest rates stimulate the economy. So we all want that, and I understand why Trump wants it, because he wants to have a great economy so that he goes down in history as a great president, and a Republican is in a good position to succeed him in 2028 and all that stuff. But none of that is the Fed's job. The Fed has two mandates. One, 2% or lower inflation and strong employment. And if those two things, if neither one of those two things are, or I should say, if neither one of those two things are recommending a change, then there's no reason to change. And people that are conservative and think there shouldn't even be a Fed, or think that the Fed shouldn't manipulate stuff, they should like the fact that the Fed's doing nothing, because that's what the Fed should do. The Fed should do nothing unless it needs to do something based on the data. So if inflation starts to go up, then they need to raise interest rates. Or if the economy starts to show weakness, they need to lower interest rates. But neither one of those things are happening right now. We're basically in a neutral environment. And so if I was the Fed chairman, which obviously I'd never be, I'm not qualified to be, but I really don't think it's as complicated a job as some people think it is. It's basically like you watch inflation, you watch the economy, and if one of those starts to fall outside parameters, then you use interest rates to get it back into parameters. But right now, both are within parameters. So he can't just lower interest rates because we all want, a supercharged economy, because that could cause inflation to start to rise. Also, you do want to have some kind of a cushion so that you can respond to a recession. If you're already at zero interest rates and you have a recession, now you're hurting because you have no way to stimulate the economy. Not that that's necessarily the end all be all. The economy should be able to recover on its own, but it's a tool that the Fed wants to keep in its toolbox because that's the Fed's job. Whether you agree with the Fed existing or whether it should have this job or not, that's its job. So it's going to keep that option in reserve if it can, and right now it can, because it has no need to lower interest rates right now. So yeah, one area, sometimes it's more interesting to talk about the areas that you don't agree with your side. I mean, I obviously agree with Trump on 99% of stuff, but this stuff, demanding that interest rates gets lowered is just self-serving because he wants the economy to be as strong as possible while he's president. But it's not anything unusual. Now, the way Trump approaches it might be unusual, the level of aggression, but it's pretty normal for presidents to try to pressure the Fed to lower interest rates.